This weekend was unique in that we have, at the end of the two-day test, I was feeling quite confident, pretty happy with myself. We're a little bit off the top time, but not a huge distance. And I was feeling pretty good about how we've progressed with the bike, and that we're, going to have, in a good position to fight for the lead-ish positions this weekend. I felt like I'd kind of reached nearly a limit to where I'm in a similar situation, because after 2 full days of riding in good weather, everyone's kind of got the best they're going to get. They're not really going to improve a great deal more. But it took me by surprise yesterday. A lot of the front guys, well, most of the grid, in fact, had kind of almost improved by a second a lap, which is a huge margin after what we've just done 2 days of practice.
I tried to put it in reverse when it was No, like go on the front and then go on the back and then get into reverse. That's probably got a reverse on it.
No, you're not playing with that.
I was going to have a nice little lap. I better get off it now.
So that kind of left me on the back foot. I went into sort of last night a bit grumpy, and we spent a fair bit of time behind the computer screens trying to work out if I'm just getting slower, or maybe there's an area in this motorcycle we can improve. So we made some changes, but the downside was there's no more practice. We were straight into qualifying today. So, and as a result of my poor practice yesterday, I had to go through qualifying 1. So if you don't know, after the practice times, they separate the top 12 and they go directly to qualifying 2. Anyone that was lower than 12 has to go through qualifying 1. And the top 3 in qualifying 1 get another chance because they get bumped over and have another go in qualifying 2. So I had to really pull my finger out in qualifying 1. And fortunately, the team had worked well. I was able to progress into qualifying 2. But to do that, I had to put in a new tyre because, to go faster, you need to ride on a new tyre. So I started the session on one of my used tyres from yesterday, and I just couldn't do a time quick enough to get me through. So I put my new tyre in, and that got me through to qualifying 2, but I'd already used the tyre. So I went out in qualifying 2. So obviously, you probably think, oh, poor Josh. It's not poor Josh. I should have done a better job yesterday, and I wouldn't have had this problem to start with. So the reason that I had these issues that I had to contend with is from my own doing. So fortunately, I just did one really flying lap in the qualifying 1, which didn't do too much damage to the tyre. And that meant that just a short delay between the qualifying 1 and 2 wasn't going to affect the tyre any great deal. I got straight out in qualifying 2, about to go. So we had to pit again, but the beauty of that was most of the people that had a fresh tyre ready for Q2, they had already took the best of it, or that first little shine of it had been took off by their attempt at a lap before the red flag. So it kind of felt to me like, even if it was just a placebo effect, it felt like it leveled things up at Warren. So yes, thank you, Peter. That was well. I was trying to get around to it, but I didn't want to directly clean up. We got going again, and did a couple of laps. Did pretty much the best lap that I think I could have done, given the situation, and arrived at 8th on the grid. So, or 9th on the grid, 3rd row. So from where I was an hour or so ago to where I am now is a big change of improvement. So, I mean, from the 3rd row is not ideal, but again, from where I was, it's a great improvement. So I'm going to just smile about the improvements. And normally I'd probably be quite annoyed with a 9th place qualifying, but today I'm actually quite pleased with it. In the race, I didn't get a great start, but I don't think that really changed the result too much. I feel like, you know, I rode the best race I could have given the situation, and again, it's not a result you'd normally be super pleased with, but I have to accept, you know, the position we're in at the moment, and try and improve again for tomorrow. We've got race tomorrow, so hoping that that'll be a bit more promising for the result. What, you want me to do it?
Yep.
I can't do 2 things. I feel like we're still a few tenths a lap away from where we need to be to put any sort of fight together, but certainly makes it easier if you can get away at the front and stay out of the congestion in the mid-pack. And, you know, just even having some, you know, faster guys cutting the wind in front of you helps sort of drag you along a little bit as well. So, you know, getting off a good start and a bit further up the grid definitely is going to help our race. Just started using the rear to stop.
Anything to help you?
Yeah, hello everybody. You're obviously quite familiar with Peter Hickman. I'm Josh Brooks. I'm the truck driver. Just finished race 3. Not as good a result, but I feel like the overall race was quite strong. I actually improved the average time throughout the race, but the lap time for that race was a little bit slower than the previous one because nobody kind of met the same lap time. But starting to finish, I saw like Leon got a really good start, and I was looking where he was on the track, and it was sort of like, you know, if I could have got away at the beginning of the race in that position, I think I could. You know, even when you're doing the same lap times as the guys ahead of you, it's really difficult to find anything to, you know, to go quicker. So I feel like that's a little bit of a, produce a little less grip. So I feel like it makes it hard to play tactically package and make it a little stronger. Our qualifying lap time is obviously really critical. As I said, needed to get better starts. So then if we've got a better lap time for qualifying, then my lap time in the race will be stronger, so we'll be able to stay up the front for longer and even make fight for position.